We talked about airsoft replica pistols that were very underappreciated in the airsoft community. And of course, as expected, y'all didn't appreciate them. So today we're going to be talking about an airsoft replica platform that is appreciated, the Hi-Capa. In airsoft, the Hi-Capa is the most popular, the go-to platform for a secondary option. However, if we take a look at the real firearms sector, it's actually going to be the Glock platform. Now, why is that? Why is there this difference between the two? Why is it that in airsoft, we prefer running with the Hi-Capa when, again, when we look at the real firearms world, the Glock platform is more preferred? The answer to that question can actually very easily be answered just by using one word: Asia. Now, what exactly does Asia have to do with airsoft? Well, the vast majority of airsoft products are manufactured in Asia and then distributed and shipped out to the rest of the world. Now, all shooting sports done in Asia are done primarily with airsoft, and a lot of the professional players chose the Hi-Capa as their go-to sidearm, their go-to option, and that sort of became the standard for everyone there. And of course, that got translated over to the US as well. And since it is a platform that had a ton of aftermarket support and components that were readily available in Asia, the easy thing to do was then to just ship them over to the US. Now, we in the States wanted an option that was going to be very easy to find components for, very easy to upgrade, and the Hi-Capa platform just seemed like a no-brainer. Adding on to the reason as to why the Hi-Capa platform took off like wildfire, it's because of its design. It's not copying any one particular brand or model per se, versus the Glock, on the other hand, is very much controlled by Glock. And there are and have been a ton of different non-officially licensed replicas of the Glock style pistols that exist out there that are still being made, but there's no real way to legally import them into the States. Nowadays, you can get a ton of officially licensed Glock products out there, which is great and they work fantastic, but it's a little late. So over the years, while Glock was suing everyone over non-licensed products, the Hi-Capa platform has had time to thrive and evolve. There have been so much stuff to come out for it in terms of an aftermarket support system, whether it be externals, internals. People have been able to take time to study the Hi-Capa system and fully develop it into what it is today. What I have in front of me is the one that started it all, the Tokyo Marui 5.1 Hi-Capa, the OG, the granddaddy, the model that every airsoft manufacturer is going to be basing their Hi-Capas off. It's always going to be based off the Tokyo Marui Hi-Capa system. With its lower muzzle velocity and plastic construction, it is quite amazing what the platform has achieved in this many years. The Tokyo Marui Hi-Capa is still considered the gold standard, so much so that custom Hi-Capa builders will go out of their way and buy a $170 to $180 Tokyo Marui Hi-Capa, spend close to, if not more, than $1,000 worth in parts, put it all together, and at the end of the day, they will have a really well-built custom Hi-Capa by today's standards. And they'll also have enough parts left over to put together a brand new stock Tokyo Marui Hi-Capa. It's like the ship of Theseus or the Hi-Capa of Speedy Boy. So why exactly is this the case where airsofters will just completely change everything about their Tokyo Marui Hi-Capa if this is supposed to be the gold standard? Well, there's a couple of reasons. The externals, for starters. It's made out of a very lightweight plastic. It doesn't exactly instill the most confidence in terms of its ruggedness or in terms of its durability. The internals as well were never, ever at any point designed to be used with green gas. That was not the intended propellant when it was designed in Japan way back in the day, which is kind of sad considering the rest of the world we use green gas. And again, if you were to use green gas with this guy, eventually, over time, parts will eventually start wearing down to the point where they do break. So what exactly is an airsofter supposed to do if they don't want to spend thousands of dollars on upgrade components? Well, on today's episode, we're going to be going over several options that cost just as much, if not less, that offer more.
The first best value airsoft Hi-Capa in 2024 is going to be the Lancer Tactical Heracles Hi-Capa. This here is kind of like the epitome. In my opinion, I think it's kind of like the new gold standard of what every airsofter is probably going to want out of the box for a Hi-Capa in this current year. Starting off, you're getting full metal construction. You're getting a very nice, aggressively ported slide. This not only looks cool, but this will also reduce the weight of the slide, so it'll give you a bit more of a snappy blowback action when you are cycling this replica. You're also going to get a nice integrated accessories rail to mount your flashlights or laser units, and you have a pretty nice textured grip module as well. The next features that I'm going to cover are, in my opinion, going to be non-negotiables or things that airsoft companies need to include into their Hi-Capas out of the box in 2024. And that is going to be number one, the raised iron sights with fiber optics, just making aiming so much easier if you're going to be going off of the base sights. A threaded 14mm counterclockwise threaded outer barrel. That way it makes attaching things like mock suppressors and tracer units that much easier. A flared magazine well to make reloading extra fast. An enlarged magazine release to again make reloading faster. And finally, what I think is going to be the pinnacle feature to set apart modern Hi-Capas from the rest of the Hi-Capas that exist out there is going to be an included optic mount to mount micro red dot sights. I think Lancer Tactical really ticked off all the boxes when it comes to including all these value pack features that a lot of modern airsofters are going to be looking for when choosing their next airsoft Hi-Capa. But this particular model in front of me here also comes with the micro red dot already included out of the box, which is huge. But if that's not something that you want, if you want to include your own micro red dot instead, don't worry, there are models that exist out there without the micro red dot included that will be significantly cheaper, and the optics plate that it comes with out of the box can accept a wide variety of different micro red dot footprints. Outside of those outstanding features, everything else is pretty much going to be pretty run-of-the-mill when it comes to a Tokyo Marui clone Hi-Capa. So the fire controls are going to be identical to that of the Tokyo Marui Hi-Capa, and internally is also going to be pretty much one-to-one identical to the Tokyo Marui Hi-Capa, meaning that if you want to take this guy and upgrade the internal performance of it even further, you're easily able to do so. The shooting experience with the Lancer Tactical Heracles is pretty pleasant in our opinion. It's a lot smoother cycling compared to other Tokyo Marui clones out there, and I would say even with the micro red dot attached, it didn't really slow down the cycling action as much compared to, again, other Tokyo Marui clones out there. If you guys don't know, when you attach things like a red dot or add more weight to the slide of your airsoft replica pistol, it will slow down the cycling action because you're adding more weight. And I think Lancer Tactical was really smart in milling out and just putting a lot of these weight reducing cuts on the slide to reduce the weight to compensate for you mounting a red dot onto it. And I would say that as far as range and accuracy goes, it performs pretty much just as good as a lot of the other airsoft replica pistols out there. Personally, for me, I really enjoy the grip texturing on the Heracles. If you look at it just with your eyes, it doesn't really look that aggressive, but when you hold it in your hands, it's actually pretty aggressive. It's like kind of similar to like skateboard tape, if you will. It really grips your hand nicely, and you don't have to worry about this guy slipping out of your hands if your hands are wet or if you have a loose grip. Outside of that, I really enjoy the magazine release that they included on this guy. It's very smartly designed. It has kind of like a wingtip over there, so it's very easy for you to take your thumb and just press that mag release and just make reloading that much easier. Whereas with traditional Hi-Capas, you know, I kind of have to break my grip a little bit whenever I have to reload. So those are two things that really stand out for me for the Heracles. The best part about the Lancer Tactical Heracles Hi-Capa is the price. As of right now at airsoftjay.com, the Lancer Tactical Heracles Hi-Capa comes in at $149. So when it's all said and done, you're getting all these features that normally you would have to find aftermarket on your own for less than $150. I think that the value is really there with the Heracles. You're getting, again, a ton of features that normally you would have to find on your own in the aftermarket and then do all the adjustment and fitting that you need to do, but you're getting this streamlined out of the box already, and it performs really well to boot.
The next Hi-Capa we're going to be talking about on our list is going to be the Army Armament R604. This is a full metal construction, I mean everything. This is going to be, of course, sporting some raised iron sights, very nice, an integrated compensator, as well as a lower accessory rail. Nice fish scale grip on here with a flared magwell, and of course you do get a nice optic plate on here as well to mount your favorite optic. The R604 is truly got to be one of the most gorgeous offerings out there in the airsoft market. Definitely got to be one of the earliest options that you can get for a truly modern Hi-Capa with its inclusion of the integrated compensator and the optics plate. In fact, when this initially came out, we're confident in saying that a lot of manufacturers probably saw what Army was doing and said, hey, we should copy that. Like all Army Armament offerings, the R604 is going to be based off the Tokyo Marui Hi-Capa system, meaning that they're going to have access to a plethora of aftermarket components, meaning no matter how gorgeous this bad boy looks, you can still do so much more in terms of its performance, whether you are talking about range, accuracy, speed. The world is your oyster. Our shooting experience with the R604 has been pretty good. In terms of its range and accuracy, it competes with the vast majority of Hi-Capas out there. I do appreciate the inclusion of the fish scale grip module. It looks cool and it feels nice and grippy, like it's not gonna fall out of my hands at any point. I also do appreciate the flared magwell on here. It's not overly done, it's not a ridiculously large magwell, but it gets the job done for speedy reloads, and I really do like the trigger on here as well. It's not mushy, it actually feels quite crispy. Now, being one of the earliest truly modern Hi-Capa offerings in the airsoft scene, it does have its drawbacks, especially once you include a red dot on the slide. Out of all the options on our list, this has definitely got to be the slowest cycling option out there. This is because the slide itself is just too heavy. There's not enough cuts in there, or it hasn't been lightened properly to compensate for the weight. Now, you can still play with it just fine. It'll still work, no problem, but you will start to notice a slowdown, especially once you start running a little bit lower on gas. Now, it is still a great pistol nonetheless, but it is still worth noting that of all the options on our list, once you add the optic on here, it is the slowest. Now, thankfully, this problem can be easily remedied with the inclusion of upgrade components, such as an upgraded nozzle and a recoil spring as well. This is going to be one of the first truly modern offerings out in the Hi-Capa scene, so it is going to have a few kinks here and there. As of right now, the Army Armament R604 gas blowback Hi-Capa currently retails for $154 on airsoftgi.com. All in all, the Army Armament R604 is an absolutely gorgeous offering, one of the best looking options for sure on our list, in my opinion, because of the inclusion of the integrated compensator and the extended lower accessory rail. It just looks so cool. Debatable whether it's cooler or not than the Heracles. I personally think so. And again, while it does have its performance quirks, it's nothing that cannot truly be remedied just by the inclusion of a few cheap upgrade components, and I'm willing to forgive it considering what it did for the airsoft community.
The third Hi-Capa on our list is probably going to be one of the most unique airsoft Hi-Capas right now in the airsoft market, and that's going to be the KLI Baba Yaga 2. At this point, you're probably acclimated to seeing Hi-Capas decked out with optics and accessories and crazy looking grip modules and compensators. So what makes the Baba Yaga so unique? Well, that's actually because due in part that it is a true dual fuel system, meaning that it was designed from the ground up to accept CO2 as well as green gas. We're gonna get into the dual fuel system of the Baba Yaga 2 in a little bit, but right now we're gonna focus on the really nice external features that you get out of the box. So first and foremost, we're talking full metal construction in the slide and in the frame. The slide has some really nice aggressive serrations and cuts on it to make racking the slide that much easier. A nice integrated compensator to just make the Baba Yaga look absolutely killer. And you get a nice fiber optic iron sight set, which is really good if you want to just aim really quickly with your iron sights. An integrated optics mount right out of the box to attach your favorite micro red dot of your choosing. A nice accessory rail here on the bottom for your flashlight and lasers. Your double undercut trigger guard to make gripping it that much easier. A nice molded fish scale design grip module that feel really nice to grip and hold in your hands. An enlarged magazine release to make reloading easier. And finally, an enlarged magwell to, again, speed up your reloads. One really cool feature about the Baba Yaga 2 is that it does have an adjustable trigger, so you can fine-tune the engagement point of your trigger on the Baba Yaga 2 very easily straight out of the box. And aside from that, you get pretty much your standard Hi-Capa controls. Now, aside from that, even though that it looks like a standard Tokyo Marui clone Hi-Capa, it is not. Internally, this is actually using their own proprietary system, and that's because of its dual fuel system, meaning that this Baba Yaga 2 was designed from the ground up to handle CO2 efficiently and reliably, as well as green gas. So if you're in a colder environment, or if you just want the really hard kicking nature of a CO2 gas blowback pistol, I think the Baba Yaga 2 is definitely the way to go. Yes, I know I said the airsoft no word, proprietary. We all love to hate that word, but don't worry, it's not all 100% proprietary. There's actually a lot of parts in the Baba Yaga 2 that you could swap over with the Tokyo Marui Hi-Capa aftermarket hegemony, okay? You could replace the inner barrel, the bucking, the recoil spring, the spring guide. You could change out trigger components, external components as well. They should all be Tokyo Marui compatible, okay? But even then, even so, you can even change out the magazine and just use a Tokyo Marui spec green gas magazine for the Hi-Capa, and it'll cycle using green gas no problem. But there's just something to be said about running a CO2 cartridge inside your Hi-Capa, okay? It just takes a lot of R&D and development to get something that will cycle reliably and consistently and for the long term, all season round, to run a high pressure gas like CO2 into your system, right? Like a standard Tokyo Marui style Hi-Capa was never designed to do that. So yes, there will be some proprietary parts in here to strengthen and to reinforce certain areas so that way you can run CO2 all year round, no problem. And for those of you guys who use and own the KLI Baba Yaga, I mean, you should know this by now, it's probably one of the hardest kicking airsoft Hi-Capas on the market, period. Shooting the KLI Baba Yaga 2 is an absolute blast. Like I said earlier, it's probably one of the hardest kicking airsoft gas blowback pistols to date. And when it comes to the slide action, it's extremely snappy, especially when you use it with CO2. Even when you have an optic mounted onto this guy, you will not notice any slowdown, any sluggishness on the slide at all. And with the kick, it will just send reverberations through your hand, into your wrist, and up the arm. Especially if you're running CO2 out in the airsoft field, this guy is loud. If you're on the business end of this thing, you will pretty much get immediately intimidated by how snappy and how loud this guy sounds. And when it comes to range and accuracy, it definitely stands toe-to-toe with a lot of the other airsoft Hi-Capas out there on the market, but with the added benefit of if you're running a CO2 magazine, you're gonna get a really big bump in your muzzle velocity, so you can run heavier BBs into this thing and get some really good accurate shots downrange at longer distances. The KLI Baba Yaga 2 CO2 gas blowback airsoft pistol retails for $170 at airsoftgi.com. At $170, this guy is kind of getting close to the original price point of the Tokyo Marui Hi-Capa, but it's easily doing 2 to 3 times more than what the stock Tokyo Marui can do, okay? Even just with the optics mount, allowing you to mount your favorite micro red dot, or even just the integrated compensator that just elevates the aesthetics of your Hi-Capa that much more. This guy runs CO2 reliably and efficiently, which is something that the Tokyo Marui Hi-Capa can never really be able to do. And if you've never shot a KLI Baba Yaga 2 before, what are you doing? Go out and shoot one as soon as possible, okay? Because this guy will definitely change your perspective as to how hard an airsoft gas blowback pistol can shoot if you've never shot one before.
The next entry on this list is going to be very special because this is the only entry on our list that is going to be an officially licensed replica of an already existing 2011 handgun out in the market, that being the Terran Tactical Innovations Sandviper. As this is an officially licensed Hi-Capa from Terran Tactical Innovations, you will be getting a bunch of Terran Tactical logos throughout the entire replica. That, of course, being on the slide, you will see the Terran Tactical Innovations logo there on the left side, and on the right, it'll sport this really nice Sandviper lettering on there. Very, very cool. The build quality on this, by the way, is no joke. It feels solid the minute that you grab it in your hands. Of course, you will be getting the integrated compensator on there, which looks so freaking nice. You get the lower extended accessory rail on here. Nice little bit of flared magwell. It's not too big, it's not too chunky, but it does the job well enough. A nice extended mag release on here, very nice and big, makes reloading a lot faster in addition to that magwell. And of course, what modern Hi-Capa would be complete without an optics plate ready to take your favorite optic? Some of the features I really like about the Sandviper that really elevate it from the rest of the pack has got to be its grip module here. It feels like a really nice hand-stippled grip texture that you get on here. It really feels like someone handcrafted this pattern for you. And of course, I do of course love the inclusion of, where's the iron sights? I thought this thing had iron sights. Does the real one not have iron? Hold on, I gotta look this up. All right. I did some digging and I found out that the reason why the Sandviper does not sport any iron sights is because the real one doesn't either. The Terran Tactical Innovations Sandviper was intended to be a competition model. It was never meant to use both iron sights and an optic on there. If you're gonna run an optic, there's no need for iron sights. If you're running iron sights, there's no need for an optic, vice versa. You get the idea. So I can't fault Jag Arms for not including it, as the real one didn't have it either. However, it is good to know that the optics plate that you do get right out the box can accommodate a wide assortment of different optics. Internally, the Terran Tactical Innovations Sand Viper is 100% TM compatible, baby, meaning you can slap in whatever upgrade components you'd like, just like all the other officially licensed Terran Tactical Innovations options out on the market. They are 100% TM compatible and can take a wide assortment of upgrade components, meaning you can build it out to your heart's content. Going over our shooting experience with the Terran Tactical Innovations Sand Viper, this has got to be one of the best, if not the best, shooting Hi-Capa out there on the market. We don't know what it is that Jag Arms is doing, but every single component feels perfectly polished and seamless. Everything just cycles so smoothly, buttery smooth. Not only that, the range and accuracy are up there in the upper echelon of Hi-Capa options out there. Again, this feels like a really high quality custom right as soon as you get it out the box. And it makes sense. Jag Arms has the licenses, and not only did they want this to be a good looking model, they wanted this to perform the best as well. The Terran Tactical Innovations Sand Viper by Jag Arms currently retails on AirsoftGI.com's website for $200 flat. And make sure to take advantage of the Wombo Combo for automatic free shipping and reward store credit back. Now I know what a lot of you guys are saying, $200, that's way more expensive than the original Tokyo. Doesn't that completely go against the purpose of this list? I know it may seem like that, especially with the out-of-the-box cost being a little bit more expensive, but in the long run, this is definitely the cheaper option. I guarantee you, getting a Tokyo Marui Hi-Capa to look even half as cool as this is gonna cost way more, and it's not even gonna be 100% accurate. You're gonna have to go with some bootleg aftermarket slide and all the other external components to make it even look this cool, at least a fraction of this coolness, and of course, it's not even gonna be the right shade of bronze, because this is definitely a unique feature. You don't see this colorway very often in the airsoft scene.
The final high-value Airsoft Hi-Capa that we're going to be talking about today is going to be the Lancer Tactical Knightshade Hi-Capa. The Lancer Tactical Knightshade is a pretty interesting pick in our opinion because the Knightshade has been around for quite some time, but we're talking about a very specific model like the one that you see in front of you here that has been updated for the current year to give even more value to the airsoft player. Externally, the Lancer Tactical Knightshade is of full metal construction as it should be. The slide itself is aggressively milled and cut to reduce as much weight as possible from the slide. You're also getting standard 14mm counterclockwise threading for the outer barrel to attach tracer units and mock suppressors. You're getting some raised iron sights with the fiber optic front sight to make target acquisition really fast and easy. A nice extended accessories rail to mount a wide variety of flashlights and laser units. A nice tree bark styled textured grip module, which feels really nice in the hands. Standard Tokyo Marui Hi-Capa style controls, a flared magazine wheel, and of course, an included optics mount right out of the box. The Lancer Tactical Knightshade has been a very popular Hi-Capa for a lot of airsoft players because of how affordable it is and how it looks good, and it just has a lot of features out of the box. But Lancer Tactical has taken a step further by releasing an option to where you can have it come with an optics mount and sometimes even a micro red dot already included out of the box to give a lot more airsofters more options, more capabilities, more features right out of the box. Some of my favorite things about the Knightshade is going to be number one, the slide. I just love how lightweight they made the slide. It just makes the inclusion of something like a micro red dot very convenient, so that way you're not going to really gum up the slide action when you mount something like a micro red dot on it. Next up is going to be the grip module itself. I love that tree bark texturing. Not only does it look unique, but it provides just the right amount of grip to make sure that it doesn't slip away from your hand when you're using it. And finally, the mag well. I love that it's not super big and chunky. It's a very nice, slim, very subdued style mag well, and I love the nice undercuts that they provide on the sides of the mag well to make yanking out the magazine from your Hi-Capa that much easier. And internally, the Knightshade is 100% TM compatible, meaning that you can repair, fix, replace, customize, and upgrade this bad boy in any way that you see fit because it is compatible with so much aftermarket parts out there. Shooting the Lancer Tactical Knightshade is a very pleasant experience. I'm not sure exactly what Lancer Tactical is doing, but their slide on the Knightshade is extremely buttery smooth. And not only that, it's very snappy, even with the red dot mounted on it, just because of how lightweight the slide is. It easily offsets you mounting something like a red dot on it. As far as range and accuracy goes, it goes very much toe-to-toe, very comparable to a lot of the other Hi-Capas out there in the market. And like I said, it's Tokyo compatible, so if you really want to turn this guy into a beast, you can. And I love how it does have a slightly longer barrel length, so it will give you a little bit more bump in your muzzle velocity, especially for those of you guys who are concerned with muzzle velocity in outdoor airsoft fields. When it's all said and done, the Lancer Tactical Knightshade Hi-Capa, with the inclusion of the micro red dot, retails for $210 at airsoftgi.com. Make sure to take advantage of the Wombo Combo with automatic free shipping and reward store credit. The Lancer Tactical Knightshade is definitely the most expensive Hi-Capa on our list today, but that's with good reason. Number one, the slide. Not only does it look cool, it's aggressive, it's lightweight, it's actually extremely durable because it's made out of CNC aluminum. Not very many airsoft Hi-Capas come out of the box nowadays with a CNC aluminum slide, okay? But not only that, there are different variations of the Knightshade that exist out there. You can find ones that are a lot more affordable with, just the basic iron sights. You can find one with just the optic mount but no optic, or you can get the full package with the optics mount and the optic included, which is what you see in front of you right now. And additionally, the Knightshade does come included in a variety of different colorways to suit your style. Well, we have definitely come a long way since the advent of the original Tokyo Marui Hi-Capa.
No, absolutely. Talk about evolution. Every time I look at this thing, I feel like we just walked back into the Stone Age.
Yeah, definitely harkens back to earlier, simpler times in airsoft, but it just because it speaks a testament to like how long it's been around. It's so tried and true. There's just so many different models now and aftermarket parts available for it. It's definitely something to be said about that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so which one would be your favorite
I'm glad
model?
you asked. My favorite would actually have to be the Heracles, just because of how much value you actually get out of it. It's insane that you get all of this for its included price.
Yeah, for well under $150, you get not only a cool looking Hi-Capa plus a very functional, usable micro red dot sight. That's pretty nutty.
No, absolutely. Again, the amount of work and effort you would need in order to get a TM to even look half as cool as this is mind-boggling. But what's your favorite, Boaz?
Oh, for me, on the list today, it's definitely got to be the KLI Baba Yaga 2.
A solid pick.
The superior pick, because it takes CO2 out of the box. Come on, don't tell me you don't love shooting the Baba Yaga 2.
No, absolutely. I love shooting all of them, but the Baba Yaga 2 is definitely special. The hardest kicking gas blowback or CO2 powered airsoft model on this list for sure.
I love how it just rattles your hand.
It's scary too sometimes you're not expecting it.
Just how hard this guy kicks, and you don't have to worry about the cycling slowing down because of the red dot, because it's just using that high pressure CO2.
Baby.
Oh yeah, 100%, man. And the fact that probably just because of how hot it shoots, I'm probably gonna be able to load some heavier BBs into this thing.
That's right.
Yeah. Have some more stable long range trajectory. It's definitely the way to go in my opinion.
No, absolutely. You can't go wrong with any of the picks on our list, especially not with these two. But let us know in the comments section which one was your favorite, or did we miss your favorite option? Let us know.
No. In the comments below, defend the original stock. Defend the stock Hi-Capa, in its stock plastic configuration. I'm pretty sure there's gonna be everyone in the comments. Oh yeah, I run my stock team Hi-Capa completely
working
plastic.
for 20 years,
yeah,
no
for 20
problem.
years, no problem. I play once every 5 years though.
Oh.
But anyway, yeah. But please let us know, what is your favorite rendition of the Hi-Capa? Because it is such a big and expansive platform. I'm sure you guys also have some of your favorite models as well. But if you like what you see, make sure to like the video, as well as hitting the subscribe button if you haven't already, and ringing that bell icon to get notified of every time we drop new videos.
You guys want to support the channel directly, make sure to get all your airsoft goodies from Airsoft GI. That'll help keep the cameras rolling and these lights on.
Yeah, all the Hi-Capas that you see here today are available at airsoftgi.com, and a lot of the times you can find these guys at really discounted rates. So make sure to check out the Airsoft GI website to get the best deals possible in airsoft. But other than that, my name is Boaz.
And Isaias.
We'll catch you next time, Mail Gang.
Take it easy, guys.